A thing of beauty. John Keats was a British romantic poet. Now, in Britain, there was one romantic age. Okay, that romantic age started with the publication of lyrical ballads in 1798, and in that, say, the two leading poets of romantic age, they had written that collection of poems. But John Keats was of the younger generation who became a follower of that romantic age, follower of romantic age in a sense that the style was the same. Okay, romantic here suggests, say, something that is exciting, that is very, say, sensitive. Such topics are written. Most of the poetries are nature poetries and love poetries. Was a British romantic poet, although trained to be a surgeon. Now imagine, he had kept B group and studied biology, had become a doctor and then a surgeon. In spite of that, he wrote poetry. Keats decided to devote himself wholly to poetry. He stopped practicing medicine and surgery and he started writing poetry. Here it is difficult to become a doctor, but he left that because he knew that he had very little to live. He died at a young age. If you must not have noticed that he was born in 1795 and he passed away in 1821. That is at what age?
26.
In that age, if he practices surgery also and writes poetry also, that was difficult. He must have somehow sensed that. And that's why he stopped writing, he stopped being a surgeon and he started writing poetry at an early age. Keats decided to devote himself only to poetry. Keats' secret, his power to sway and delight the readers, lies primarily in his gift of perceiving the world and leaving his moods and aspiration in terms of language. What is his, where does his power primarily lie? Where can we see his power of literature? In the gift of perceiving the world. How you perceive the world, how you see the world, observe the world, and leaving his moods and aspirations. And the moods that the poet himself had, the aspirations that the world had, the moods that the world had, the way he perceived it. He perceived the world, he observed the world, and he decided that the world is having this kind of a mood, this kind of aspirations, expectations, ambitions. He put that in his language, he put that in words, in terms of language. The following is an excerpt from the poem Endymion, a poetic romance. So this particular poem is taken from a collection of poems, that is an end of the poem called A Poetic Romance. And the name of is Endymion. The poem is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd and poet who lived in Mount Latmus, had a vision of Cynthia, the moon goddess. Now, moon, if you say refer to as a symbol, then moon is a symbol of love. Okay? And it has great impact on the sensitive life of a person, emotional life of a person. So, here two characters that are mentioned. One is the poem is based on a Greek legend in which the Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd, was there. And the poet was there. And they had a vision of Cynthia. What is Cynthia? Cynthia is the moon goddess. The enchanted youth resolves to seek her out and so wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. Now, what they do is, they try to look for this goddess of love, Cynthia. And where do they look for her? The couple, they look for her in the forest and down under the sea. Okay? What pleasure does a beautiful thing give us? A question is asked. I hope you all know what pleasure a beautiful thing gives us, but the poet will define it in a different way. Are beautiful things worth treasuring? Can you treasure it? Can you keep it with you forever? The poet is trying to do that. Okay? A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Something beautiful when your eye catches, it gives you joy forever. Joy when you see it in present, and joy when you recollect it later, it gives you joy. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. The loveliness of the beautiful thing keeps increasing. It will never pass into nothingness. It will never become nothing. It will always mean something special to you. But will keep a bower quiet for us. Bower is a shelter. Okay, it will keep a bower quiet for us. A canopy of, say, creepers that forms a kind of a bower, a shade. A bower quiet but will keep the bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams. If you see a beautiful thing, it will stay with you forever, and you will be having sweet dreams. And health and quiet breathing. You will remain healthy also on seeing beautiful things, and you will be able to breathe quietly, means you will be peaceful with yourself. Therefore, on every morrow, we are wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Now, because a thing of beauty is a joy forever, what we do is, we try to, on every morrow means the next day, what we do is, we are wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. The flowery band symbolizes beauty. We try to, say, bind ourselves to this earth. We try to keep ourselves connected with the world, with the beautiful things. Spite of despondence of the inhuman death of noble natures. Noble natures means the good things that a human being has. There is despondence of it. There is dearth of it. There is lack of it. There is scarcity of it. These things are not there. In spite of that, we are bound to this earth. The reason for that is, what is the reason for that? The things of beauty that we see. And we bind a flowery band. That flowery band the girls generally put around their head. That symbolizes beauty, and that keeps us attached to this world. The beautiful things keep us attached to this world. So, spite of despondence of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days. Some days in our life are very gloomy, sad, sorrowful. In spite of that, we continue living, and we try to remain connected to this world because of the beautiful things that we see. Of all the unhealthy and the over-darkened ways made for our searching. Okay, the life is itself a journey into the dark. And in spite of the despondence of the inhuman death means humanity is not there, there is a lack of humanity. In spite of the lack of noble nature people do not have. In spite of the gloomy days, in spite of the sad and sorrowful days, and in spite of the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching, the ways that on which we have to go, those ways are over-darkened, dark, and unhealthy. In spite of all these things, so this is a sorrowful note. Initially, he introduces to us that a thing of beauty is a joy forever, and it binds us to this earth. Now, it binds us to the earth in spite of many things. In spite of the despondence, in spite of the dearth of human natures, in spite of the gloomy days, in spite of, say, dearth of noble natures, in spite of the unhealthy and the over-darkened ways, in spite of all these things, a thing of beauty binds us to this earth. Which are those things of beauty that bind us to the earth? You may have different ideas, but the poet has something else to say. In spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall. The sadness that is there, that is taken away from you by some shape of beauty. That some shape of beauty may be anything. It takes away the pall from the sadness, gloom from your dark spirit. Dark spirit means saddened spirit, sad spirit. Okay? Which are such things which take away the, say, pall from your dark spirit. If such a question is asked, then such things are such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. And such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. Now these are the things of beauty that you have to keep in mind. The sun, the moon, then the trees young and old, not old and young human beings, trees young and old. And these young and old trees, what do? They sprouting a shady boon. Boon is a blessing. In the form of shade, they give a blessing and they form a shady boon. They form shade or they give shade. For whom do these trees young and old give shade? For the sheep. Okay, for the sheep. And such are daffodils. Daffodil is the name of a flower which does not grow in our country, so we are not much acquainted to it. With the green world they live in. The daffodils live in the green world, and they are such things which will take away the pall from your dark spirits. Then, what else will take away the pall from the dark spirits? The clear rills. Rills is a narrow stream that flows like and meets the river. That's a clear. Clear means it is very clear. You can see the water clean. That for themselves a cooling covert make. When this rill passes from anywhere, it will make a cool covert. The atmosphere around it will become cool. Against what? Against the hot season. In the hot season, if you are near a stream, near a rill, then it will, make you feel cool against the hot season. The mid-forest break. In the middle of the forest, at some places, the trees do not grow. That part is called the mid-forest break. It is very wonderful to be at such a place. Generally, those who go for trekking and all that, the tents are put on at such places. Rich with a sparkling of fair musk rose blooms. In that open space, in the break that is there, what will happen? This musk roses grow. Musk, there is one deer called musk deer, because from its navel, the fragrance spreads for more than a kilometer. The musk roses are the roses that give a lot of fragrance. So, in the middle of the forest, this musk roses bloom, and that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. The mid-forest break, rich with a sparkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. Now the dooms are the people who have passed away. Their grandeur is also as lovely as the fragrance of the musk rose or any other beauty that he has expressed. The great people who have lived, they have glorified the world with their lives. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. Okay? The mighty dead. Mighty means strong and powerful people who are no more. We have imagined that such was the grandeur of the dooms. The people who passed away, their grandeur was also so great. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, we have heard a lot of tales, stories about the great people, the mighty people who are no more. And that is also something that will help us to live our life hopefully, because the present condition, at present the pandemic and all that is an exceptional condition, otherwise also the life is full of gloom, despondence, and there are a lot of unhealthy ways that we have to follow. But what we can do is, we can look at the lives of the great and the mighty people who are no more and take courage from that and walk on their footprints. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink. What we get to know about these great people who are no more, the mighty people who are no more, that is an everlasting source of inspiration for us. It is an endless fountain of immortal drink, a drink that will never let you die. Immortalize means something that mortal, we all are mortals. Mortals means those who by nature die at the end. Immortal is something that doesn't die. Immortal drink is elixir. Okay, if you drink that, then you will never die. Amrut. But we don't get that. Don't look for it also. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. From the heavens brink, that immortal drink is delivered to us by these great and mighty people when we get to know about the tales, the stories that we have listened from them. Okay? Is that clear to all of you? This was the longest video for one poem.